Lights, camera, action. We have the fabulous, amazing, veteran producer extraordinaire, Michael Tadross, today.
Bless you,
It's
Charles.
so
Bless you.
beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, I could not ask for a better friend, but also a greater figure in our business to have with me.
It's only
on
40
this
years.
show.
Only 40 years.
Only 40 years of this stuff, man. Only 40 years. So tell me, you were just tipping me off on something that I was not current on. So let's start with that. You had spent a lot of years, and I spent a lot of them alongside when you were at Warner's.
Yeah.
And that just finished up. Tell me a little bit about what's going on, how that transpired, and the change in the business.
22 years at Warner Brothers. I had what we call a term deal, which was fantastic. You know, if you work or you don't work, you get paid a good chunk of money. And I loved every minute of Steve Papazian, those guys there, unbelievable. You know the people I'm talking about.
People,
Mark Solomon, you know. And when AT&T came in, they kind of did away with the term deals. So I'm freelance again, which I haven't been in many, many years. Even when I went and did like Hitch at Sony, Warner Bros. Would loan me out. Or the International, or different shows I did at different studios. They'd loan me out to other studios. But now it's a lot different.
Yeah.
The whole world of filmmaking is a lot different right now.
Yeah, it's an open landscape.
Not even film. The whole world of digital making is right now.
Content.
Thank you.
Yeah. So take me back to a time that I don't know about when you worked as I guess in the camera department and
How did you know that?
It's just,
Seriously, how did you find that?
I asked one of your old friends, and they told me about it. No, you've told me about it a little bit, very little though, and that's why I want to know more.
When I was a kid, and I mean a kid, in my teens, my mother was not healthy, and her sister was married to George Folsey, who was not only president of the ASC, but he was a 14-time nominated Academy Award nominee. And he did movies like Meet Me in St. Louis, Seven Brides and Seven Brothers, Take Me Out to the Ball Game, all of these wonderful Executive Suite, all these great movies. And he was under contract for M.G.M. for years. He started doing the Marx Brothers movies at California Story Studios when it was just Astoria Studios. Anyway, so in the summers, I went out and worked for him. And
this is here in New York.
No, I went to California for the summers and spent with my mother's sister out there. And I just... with my cousin George Folsey, who's a big producer. He did all the John Landis movies, Animal House, Blues Brothers, Three Amigos. He produced all of that stuff. So I thought about being in the camera department because I worked as a still photographer for Associated Press, and I would photograph the U.S. Tennis Open and different sporting events.
See, these are things I don't know.
Yeah, and I said, I don't really like this. So I'm on a set of a TV show called Here's Peggy Fleming. And it was at the old back lot, which doesn't exist anymore, at M.G.M. And it was my uncle made the ice black with all black velvet around, and it was Gene Kelly and Peggy Fleming dancing on ice on ice skates, which is fantastic.
Crazy, wow.
So I said, a guy was there going, "Settle down, hold the noise." So I asked him, "What does that guy do?" He's an assistant director. I said, "Oh, okay. How much money does he make?" He said, $700 a week. I said, $700? Is that your fucking mind? That's the job I want. Now, in LA, it's very hard getting a Directors Guild. So I came back to New York, and I worked for the next 8 or 9 years as a PA on a lot of stuff, like Kojak, Cagney and Lacey, a lot of shows that came and went out of New York. And I got my days to get into the Directors Guild. And one of the people that actually helped me, you wouldn't believe it. Remember Fred Williamson, Hammer, the football player?
Yeah.
When he and Larry Cohen made all these movies, Hell Up in Harlem, One Down, Two to Go, Black Caesar, and I worked on all of them either as a grip or as an electrician or even in a camera department. And I learned everybody's job by doing that. It was a great experience, like best school you can go to. And that's why I tell young kids, take any job you can get because you're only going to learn something. So I then got into the Directors Guild as a first AD. I had 1,140 days as an AD. But the head of the guild, and I'd rather not mention his name at the time, said, no, nobody's going to hire you as a first AD. You go to work as a second AD. So, and by the way, you don't have to pay the extra money. I think it was like $3,000. You only have to pay $1,500 or something. Of course, the first job I get, I'm a first AD. And what does the head of the Directors Guild do? He doesn't call up and say, oh, he didn't put his paperwork in to qualify as a second AD. He tells the production manager, oh, he's not qualified to be a production manager, which is really, so I went to him, I threatened him, all sorts of things. I got to be a first AD. The same thing happened when I upgraded the production manager. I don't want to bore you going into too much detail.
No, I like this, yeah.
So I get very lucky on a movie called Brenda Starr with Brook Shields in 1986. Mickey Hyman, and John Backey at Tomorrow Entertainment. And they asked if I could produce the movie. I said, I don't know. You're the producers. And they said, well, you're doing such a great job. You're the first AD, you're the production manager. We want to give you a producing credit. I said, done. Thank you so much. And I kind of never looked back from there. I mean, prior to that, I was like assistant to the production manager on Trading Places and with Billy Garrity, who was a great influence in my life, who you knew. And people stood behind me, like George Folsey, John Landis, Billy Garrity. And even when I went, the first production manager job was a big job, I should say. I was an AD on Cocktail with Tom Cruise.
Right.
On all these other movies. But the first big one was Ridley Scott.
Black Rain?
Black Rain.
Big fucking film.
Yeah. And that was Keanu. You told about Keanu before.
That's right.
And Al. And that was a big movie. That was a big movie. It was here, it was Japan, it was LA, we were all over the place. And I came out doing great. And then from that, then Paramount just kept me there.
Kept you running.
They gave me, in those days, I'll tell you the number, $5,000 a week not to take a job with someone else. I mean, I was still a kid. I had dark hair then.
That's a long time ago.
Shut up. Anyway. Listen, better gray than nay, okay?
Listen, I always say Gillette Sensor is cheaper than hair dye.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point. He dyes his hair. See that kid over there? Look at him.
Yeah, I know.
And it's a bad dye job, by the way.
It's impressive, though. Yeah.
Impresses me.
Chabelle. Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, we should bring him on.
I don't know if you want to hear any more of my boring life.
I do want to hear more about your boring life. I want to hear about John Landis, then going to coming
Landis,
and then coming to America.
Love John Landis. After Trading Places, I went to work on a couple of movies as an AD, and then I became production manager after Brook Shields' movie. And the next big movie that came up was Coming to America.
Coming to America, yeah.
Once again, the Directors Guild, my union, calls up and says, he's not qualified to be a production manager.
Crazy. And
so John Landis said, okay, I'm not making a movie. He and Folsey were amazing. They were so good to me.
Wow.
And then from that moment forward, I met a guy named Roger Rothstein, who's the head of production at Warner Brothers. He introduced me to Ridley Scott. And then I did, what movie I do with Ridley Scott?
You did Black Rain.
That was Black Rain. I'm sorry.
Black Rain.
I'm sorry.
You did Black Rain, but Coming to America.
I did that backwards. I sent him backwards.
And Coming to America was your second film with John Landis.
Yeah.
And then basically, what spiked the start of your road into becoming head of production at Paramount? Because that didn't happen quickly.
Okay.
That took a few years, right?
The two producers of Black Rain, creative producers, was Stanley Jaffe and Sherry Lansing. Two of the nicest people I've ever known in my entire life.
And Sherry was head of the studio at the time. No, she was not yet. Not yet.
Not even close.
Not close. That was Mancuso at that time?
It was Frank Mancuso.
Frank Mancuso, okay.
And then what's his name came in after him. I don't know. Doesn't matter.
Anyway.
So Stanley calls you up and says, listen, I need you to do me a favor. I said, I want you to run production at Paramount. Hey, Stanley, I live in Brooklyn. It's a tough commute to Hollywood. And they gave me a big chunk of money, paid my two mortgages of my two homes, one in Brooklyn and one in the Hamptons. And Stanley took such great care of me. I love that man till the day I die.
Wow.
And a lot of people say negative things about Stanley. He's one of the nicest people you ever want to meet.
Right.
So when I went there, I'm chairman of the studio. When I got there, then I just remember who replaced Mancuso was Brandon Tartikoff. Remember him?
Yeah.
Head of NBC.
Yeah.
Another great guy. He calls me up one day and said, Mike, I have to talk to you. So what's the matter, Brandon? He said, come by my office. He said, so what's up? He said, I don't know how much longer I have to live. I have terminal cancer throughout my whole body.
Oh, my God.
So I sit in his office crying with him. And 2 or 3 months later, he left the studio. And that's when Stanley said, let's bring Sherry in.
Got it. Okay.
So it was about a year after I was there.
Right.
And then I stayed with Sherry for about a year. And then I walked in her office and I said, Sherry, I can't do this anymore. I just had a huge blowout with one of the biggest producers in the world. And I was right and he was wrong. And I had no support from the other executives at the studio. I said, you have to get me out of this job. So they asked if I'd stay another 3 or 4 months or 6 months. So I did. And then I left. But while I was there, I met a guy by the name of John McTiernan. Great director. He did Predator and,
A lot of great
Action.
ones. You did a whole series of films with John.
I did.
Yeah.
But the first one was Die Hard.
Yeah.
And he wants, I want to shoot in New York, Die Hard with a Vengeance. And it was Sam Jackson and Bruce and Jeremy Irons. And I was the sole producer on it. Did very well. Everybody made a lot of money. It was a wonderful movie. And he's a genius as a director.
I can't remember what studio that was under. Was that
Fox?
That was under Fox. Okay.
Synergy Fox.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went to.
You did a whole bunch with him. Thomas Crown.
I did Thomas Crown Affair,
Rollerball,
Basic. Yeah, we did
Yeah.
a bunch in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were real good. We all did well with those.
Yeah.
And then,
incredible films.
and then I got a call from Bill Young, who's head of production at Warner Brothers. Said, Mike, I have a big Schwarzenegger movie here called Eraser. Could you produce it? So I said, don't ask me twice. Of course I could. So I went and I did it, and did, I don't know, $400 million or something, and from that I went on to I don't know, other movies at Warner's.
Yeah.
And then,
The studio, you were there for quite a while.
I was there for 20 years. So, I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of movies I did there.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I remember when you were, I Am Legend was late in the game.
I Am
but
Legend. I did, they loaned me out to Sony to do Hitch
Hitch was
with
done.
Will Smith. And then I came
Right.
back and did I Am Legend with Will Smith and
And Sherlock Holmes with
Sherlock Holmes with Robert Downey.
Yeah, Guy Ritchie directing.
Guy is terrific. Just terrific.
Yeah.
And then, 25 or so movies since then.
Exactly. And you worked with Adrian Lyne during that.
Adrian Lyne. I did
Lyne,
Indecent
yeah.
Proposal with him.
Yeah.
And Sherry and I produced that together.
Right.
And he's still one of my dearest, closest friends. And I think one of the greatest directors I've ever worked with.
Yeah.
man's a
Amazing.
genius.
Amazing. What was it like when you worked with Taylor on Devil's Advocate? Talk a little bit about Devil's Advocate.
Okay, well, Taylor.
And how that came together.
Arnold Cobleson, who, may he rest in peace, one of the nicest human beings ever in this business, and a genius, I might add. He was a producer of it with his wife Ann, and he and Taylor kind of didn't get along, so he kind of thought I was Cobbleson's guy. So at the beginning of it, we didn't really see eye to eye, but then by the end, he actually came to me at the end, and this is to Taylor's credit, and he's a good man. He said, I should have made him my partner on day one. And he gave me a hug, and he's still my friend. So it worked out well. And working with Al Pacino and Keanu was wonderful.
Yeah, amazing film. Amazing film. So what do you feel now that the sort of the studio run that you've had for quite a while has now turned towards a lot of attraction for you to be working with Netflix, and what have your conversations with them been like?
They've been pretty terrific. They're all lovely. They we want you to, what bothers me when somebody says, oh, you're a legend in New York. That just means you're old. What does that mean, You've done a lot of movies and you're old. So 66 years old, you're a legend? Maybe at 96, I'll accept it, but not now.
Right. Too young.
So,
yeah.
But no, they've all been wonderful. Every one of the companies have been great. And everyone's different, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some have a lot of money to spend, some have pennies to spend. I just finished a little movie with Eddie Wong and Pop Smoke, who just got killed, just got shot, the rapper, called Boogie. And it was an absolute pleasure. I did it kind of for free. We did it for Focus Features.
For Focus, okay.
Yeah. Lou Phillips that ran it. And paid me a few dollars, but not, and he was,
what your normal
10
is.
times less than what I normally get.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure. It's a different world. It's a lot of young people that really want to be there. They're not there because the father was a grip or their uncle was an electrician. They're there because they really want it. And what a pleasure. What a pleasure to them. And Eddie, another genius.
And your time with Will Smith, talk about that a little bit.
My golfing time or my working with him?
Both.
People ask me, who the two most enjoyable actors you ever worked with in your life? And I say, number one, Will Smith, number two, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Because all I did was have fun. Those guys are like not going to work. They're just having fun. And Will, we're on a set, and Will, I go to Will, why don't you go back to your motorhome? Me and Wallace. He said, I make a lot more money than you do, and if you have to stand here, why shouldn't I? And that's Will Smith. I mean, he's a pro. He's amazing. I mean, there's a reason why he got where he got and where he's staying where he is.
Yeah. Just
people get up there, but then they go right back down. Will is going up and keep going up.
Right, keeps rising. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you worked with William Friedkin. I don't know much about that story when you did the film with him.
Blue Chips.
Yeah.
Nick Nolte and all of the basketball players. Not much you say. Billy Friedkin is one of the best directors probably ever. He and Bogdanovich were partners for a while, and he did wonderful movies like The French Connection, The Exorcist. I mean, how do you say anything negative about somebody who did those movies?
No, not at all. I just was wondering what the relationship was. Yeah.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah,
it's great. It's still great.
And who do you want to go back to work with again? I mean, are there any directors?
Adrian Lyne.
Yeah.
And I just turned down a picture that he offered me with Ben Affleck.
Right. That was down in New Orleans. Yeah.
I regret turning it down, but I was unavailable at the time.
Right. You were on the, was it Sesame Street?
I was on Sesame Street,
Yeah. Right.
And I thought when we came back from the hiatus that I'd be back on Sesame Street.
Right. That didn't happen.
Yeah. I still don't know why.
Right.
I have a feeling it was about money.
Right.
Always like, he makes too much money. This guy can do it for half the price. That kind of stuff.
Right.
I don't know. I really don't know the reason.
Right. And then for you, with all the projects that you've been able to stay kind of work on and be attached to, you were involved with studio hires of you, but were you on any of these projects developing the script at the early stages for things that stuck around for a long time before they were made?
Probably about 20 or 30 movies. I can't think of anyone that I did an amazing job on, but sure. Always, the third act this week, let's change that. I mean, there's always things you have to do on these movies.
But getting involved at the beginning at the script stage when they're
I was with Indecent Proposals like that with Adrian.
Right.
Every day we discussed the script and with Sherry, it was I mean, it's every movie. It's a hard question to answer because you do it on every movie.
Right.
But every movie, it's a different time when you get into it. Maybe very early in the stage, in the middle of the script,
But your life was mostly with projects that were studio financed.
That's right.
So
I never did an independent movie.
Right. You were never having to raise money.
No. I didn't. I don't know what that is.
Right. Which is a whole other
different world of producing. Let's get a script, let's get an actor, let's get a director, let's raise money, limited partnerships. Selling shares, I don't know. I would go to the studio, I need $80 million. Okay, do it for 75. All right, let's go.
Right.
I mean, I've been very blessed. I honestly, and I know that. I'm not just, I'm not making a joke now. I've been really very, very blessed and lucky in my career.
And how did you mentioned how you got connected to Folsey, but
he's my first cousin. That's why I got connected.
No, I know it's your family, but
and he connected me to Landis.
When did you decide that you actually wanted to pursue that?
I was in my 20s, early 20s. I started in my teens.
Right, you started really early.
17 years old, 18 years, something like that.
Wow, fantastic.
It's a long time.
It's a long time, man. And then the cinematographers that you've worked with are amazing. Yeah.
Oh, from Freddie Francis to Vittorio Storaro to even
Bartkowiak.
Andres Bartkowiak, my boy.
Yeah.
You love him too.
He's the best.
Crazy bastard.
Crazy bastard. Exactly. Exactly. What do you think right now when you see what's happening in the in the environment for distribution and for visibility of films for the Academy nominations and where things have gone and how they've changed in your decades of working in the industry and how you see the shifts and changes in that? Do you have any feelings about that?
No, yeah, I have only really one feeling. I've been an Academy member for a long time, and I just felt as though Parasite, which I loved, shouldn't have gotten foreign film and best film. It should have been either or.
Right.
And now that's the only thing I say negative about the Academy today.
Right.
I mean, everything else, the diversity, the women, everything else, I just support.
Right.
And I always have my whole career, long before this all came out.
Right. And in terms of working for the studio heads and navigating your way through, your period of time at Paramount, you said there was a moment where you wanted to leave because you had gotten into a big battle with a producer.
I'll tell you off the air who the producer was. You know him.
Yeah, yeah.
I told him what he had to do on his movie, and he called me an incompetent asshole. And he went to my boss, and my boss approved it. And then when they went and did what I told them not to do, exactly what I said would happen happened. And then he goes to the chairman of the studio and says, I don't know, this guy didn't tell me I shouldn't have done it. I would never have done it if he told me.
Right.
So he just lied and...
right. Typical stuff.
Typical,
yeah. Yeah. So
and I have nothing against him today either, by the way.
Yeah. So what in your career, going back to like working with Peter Bogdanovich or Bob Zemeckis, when you were involved at the studio, that was Forrest Gump was being made. You were head of the studio during
I sat
that.
in the tent with Bob Zemeckis in North Carolina in a hurricane. What a brilliant man he is, my God. But no, we did a lot of fun with Addams Family.
Incredible list of films.
Yeah, there's a lot of big ones. I don't remember them anymore. I know that sounds sad, but I really
it's all just a blaze in the background.
Into one big movie, you know. I mean, I remember I worked with a cinematographer once who I thought was a genius. This guy should be doing big movies, and then I go home and I'm watching it, and his name was Alan Hume, and he does all the 007 movies, he did all the James Bond movies, you know.
Right.
I mean, guys like that. I said, boy, this guy. I don't know why he's doing these little movies with me.
Right.
But he wasn't. Right. He was doing all movies.
Right.
That's where I am right now. I'm doing all movies.
Right. So, what do you see in terms of the types of budgets that you'll be working with next? Is it going to be? Or you feel that you're going to be diving into a lower budget environment, or they're going to be throwing more money or as much money as you did on all the older films?
It depends. It depends on the project and who it's involved in. The movie we just did with Charbel and I just did with Eddie Wang. I say Eddie Wang. I know. Sorry, Eddie. I meant Eddie Wong, who I love, who's my brother. I'm thinking of Vera Wang.
Vera Wang, the designer.
Yeah, no, Eddie Wong. Anyway, that was like a $10 or $12 million budget, and it looks beautiful.
Right.
Did a great job. I then was doing one with Greg Silverman and Alfonso Rejon.
Right. Newsflash
with Chris Pine, and then that fell apart.
Right.
And usually it's one reason something falls apart, either an ego or money.
Right.
And I'm not sure what happened on this one.
Right. It just went away. Yeah. So in terms of like going back in time, what's your favorite story, your favorite experience going back in time in the movies you produced? The stories that you can tell. Going back to
most of them I can't tell.
Right.
When I retire from the business, you'll not have this conversation again.
Right, but you can't say the things that took place along the way that you had to do as a UPM and AD and all of that. Yeah.
Especially a lot of things I didn't want to go to, you know. Like Harvey Weinstein's a lot of trouble for a lot of stuff I saw happen on movie sets.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, it's it's terrible. It's disgusting. But
Right.
these things happen.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And
yeah.
I'm not defending Harvey at all. I mean, I'm not a fan. I don't know the man, but
Right.
I'm just saying it happens. It was happened all over the place when I was young in this business. I saw it.
Right. And you had to always sort of position yourself to be far away from that stuff.
You had to.
Yeah.
You had to.
Yeah.
That's a career ender.
Yeah. As it has been for so many.
And I could, when we go off the air, I'll give you 10 names of prominent people. Whatever happened to him? I remember him from years ago. Well, I can tell you what happened to him.
Gone. Yeah. Yeah. Very sad. Very sad. So, can you talk about anything that you're about to jump onto, or any new projects?
I have like 5 that I'm reading now, and I'm also going to start a production company. Maybe I'll give you a job, Charlie.
Oh, that would be nice. There you go. Finally, there we go.
I've been approached by, and I can't say who it is, but the company, the people. If they give me $500 million, what kind of company can I put together for them?
Right.
I said, any kind you want.
Yeah, that was an easy answer.
That's an easy one. So I'm gonna go to LA. I'm meeting with them next week, and so
nice.
That may be another direction I might go in.
Right. To go off on your own and be able to produce stuff and not be under a studio name. Yeah.
And just get a deal at a studio, just to like
a distribution deal.
Deal, just to sell them off.
Yeah.
Or I'm not the guy that's going to go to MeFed and Cannes in Toronto and try to sell a movie.
Right.
Here it is. I made it for 15. Give me 17. You got a deal.
Right. Exactly. And your films, right up through your entire career, all had a box office and
$4 billion in box office.
$4 billion in box office.
That's a lot for the ones I worked on.
Yeah. And
that includes the flops. I subtracted the flops from.
Exactly. Yeah. No. It's amazing. And when you think about it, anyone starting out now doesn't really have as much opportunity to have a career with a lot of box office because of streaming being the primary.
Streaming, of course, and all cable stations and Netflix and Amazon and Apple. And
what is your feeling about the way that stars are made today in an environment where theatrical is somewhat getting not replaced by streaming, but sort of there's less marquee and other forms.
Well, that's the truth. Who's a marquee actor today? Tom Cruise?
He's one.
I mean, how many more are there?
Well, I think Leonardo DiCaprio,
Leo, and Brad. Maybe Brad Pitt. I don't know, but I mean, there's very few big box office actors where 20 years ago I can name 25 of them.
Right, a name that would launch a film.
Yeah, something you could pre-sell on.
Right.
You go out and pre-sell a movie. You make a movie for $20 million. You go out and pre-sell it. And
European foreign sales.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. If you had the right names in it.
Right.
And today, it's almost doesn't matter who the producer is, who the director is. It's just who's in it.
Right. Right.
That seems to be the only thing people ask now when you go to these meetings. What do you have? Who do you have?
Right, but you can. But with
you got any of the Chris's? Got any of the Chris's?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the latest thing. The Chris's.
But you can.
I know I have Charlie Hirsch.
Exactly, Charlie Hertzfeld on my cast of characters. Yeah, but you can anchor a film just as a producer as well with a bunch of people who are lesser known when you're at your level, though, right?
I'd like to say yes because my ego makes me want to say yes, but I'm not sure I can.
Right, even with your veteran time, it's not necessarily the case.
People, Charlie, this. People want, you're an actor, okay. The biggest producer in the world calls you up to do the movie. Oh, I'd love to do it. How much? That's all people care about. There's a few of them that do read the script and love it, but friends of ours, close friends of both of us, it's like, how much you paying? Okay, then I'll read the script.
Exactly.
It's not, but years ago, let me read the script. Oh, it's brilliant. Don't worry about it. Let's make the movie,
Right.
I haven't heard that in a while.
No. But I mean, do you feel that there's in in the breadth of your career that this now is a time of every wide open opportunity, not stability from a studio, but just whatever it is that you want to do is kind of an open door? Do you
Right
feel
now, I
do you
can do
feel
anything
that
I want now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And that's a wonderful feeling.
Yeah. And you don't feel that you need to go back and be attached to any of the studios in order to do it.
I don't feel as though I need to, but I would love to go back to Warner Brothers or
Right.
Paramount
Right.
or Sony or Disney. I'd love to be an in-house person there.
Right.
Not as an executive,
Right.
as a producer.
As a producer that's got a deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, life was very easy.
Right. And do you feel that younger people getting into the business have the opportunities that you had when you started? What do you feel has changed since you began years ago, and people coming up and cutting their teeth on what's available now?
Today, most of the young kids, and they're all really smart and they're really talented, but they go to like film schools and they come out with this, oh, I'm a director, I'm a producer, whatever it might be. And I tell them it needs a little more training, needs some on-the-job training. And nobody understands. I said, well, you don't wake up Thursday morning and say, well, I'm going to do heart surgery this afternoon. You have to learn, you have to go to school, you have to learn it, and then you have to practice it. You have to become what they call an intern. And that's what it's missing today. They come out of film school, I'm a director, I'm this, I'm that. You have to come out and say, let's intern to learn the trade and then move on. And that's what I think is missing.
So you find that with the people that come on to work for you?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, because there's a pool of people that all feel that they can meet the dream without having had any of the experience.
You kind of have to put in a little bit of homework, I believe.
Yeah.
And homework being time.
And you when you go into every single project, you're breaking down the scripts and coming up with the amount of days to shoot and what's realistic and what's not. How quickly does that go for you? That's something that you're able to do fairly fast, or you have to go over time with
a week
director?
to 2 weeks. A week to 2 weeks, I can get it done.
Yeah.
I've done so many of them,
Right. It's something you can do fast.
Yeah. I mean, we break it down. We do a board. We break down the visual effects, special effects, background players, how many locations, what's on the stage, what's not on the stage. And we put it together, and then we budget off those breakdown sheets that I do.
And when you worked on when you made I Am Legend, that was a huge undertaking to block off city streets and do visual effects that were absolutely unbelievable. Talk a little bit about that.
I was told by the chief of police, you're the last guy to ever do that in New York. We're never going to allow that again. We closed Fifth Avenue on a Sunday morning. We'll walk down Fifth Avenue with not a person around. And what I found so interesting was that there were so many tourists. And the assistant director said, please keep quiet. There wasn't a sound on Fifth Avenue. And by the way, very little visual effects in I Am Legend.
Yeah, right.
There was very little. Only the animals were
the animals, yeah.
That was it.
That's true. The rest of the stuff was just motion.
And one of the hardest scenes that I had to figure out how to do was when they trashed St. Patrick's Cathedral and the pews were upside down and they didn't put it in the movie. It was cut out of the movie.
Unbelievable.
But, I mean, closing the viaduct in Grand Central for 3 weeks, we were all hated.
Right.
But the Chief Scagnelli, the chief of police, was amazing. The commissioner was amazing. And the mayor was wonderful.
Actually, going back in time, when you think about how hard it was to shoot in New York at different eras, what were the easiest times to shoot in New York for you? Or was there a period that was not?
Was not easy?
Yeah. Now it's hard to shoot in New York.
Hot zones. You can't shoot here. You can't shoot there. You can't look. If you do a period movie in New York right now, it's very difficult. Contemporary movie, it's not so hard. But there's still hot zones. And when we left I Am Legend, I don't think anyone was able to shoot in Washington Square Park for the next 10 years or so.
Right, because you blew up the park.
We loved it. It was great. What a movie.
Yeah, Vic Armstrong doing all those action scenes.
Yeah, he was great. Vic.
Amazing.
Love Vic. Love that man.
Talk a little bit about when you worked with Sid Pollock.
I only worked with him on The Firm.
On The Firm, yeah.
And I was very close with Brother Bernie, who was a costume designer who just recently passed away. But I mean, what could I say about like guys like that? They're geniuses. You know, you
Right.
don't say anything to them. They're so smart and so talented. You just sit back and let them do their thing. So it's working with Pollock or Ridley Scott or Tony Scott or Adrian Lyne or John McTiernan. You just let them do what they want to do.
Right.
And then you take the bows at the end and take the credit, but you didn't do anything.
True.
You work with geniuses that know what the hell they're doing. Every other guys come in here and say, "Oh no, because of me, it's all bullshit." You work with guys of that caliber, they make you look good. Believe me, they're all geniuses.
Right. So there's not all of them.
I can go on, and there's
you go
more.
on. Yeah, all the directors, man. Yeah,
They're all brilliant. Taylor Hackford, they're all great, amazing directors.
yeah. But is there one that you feel that you had an experience with where you uncovered something for yourself as a producer that you had not experienced before? One director that stands out. I mean, with McTiernan, of course, you did a whole series of films.
McTiernan let me do what I wanted to do, and he let me go off and direct second unit. He was quite wonderful. He was remarkable. Adrian Lyne the same way. But the other ones they just did their thing. I did my thing. Can I do this? And with those guys, you never say no because they're such pros. How many days can I do this for? And you tell them, and they do it.
Right, right,
Other people I've worked with, you tell them you need to get 2 days to shoot this. Oh, I need a week.
right.
But those guys they know how to back in and do it right. It's wonderful.
And dealing with a film like when you were dealing with Ocean's 8, that took quite a long time to put together, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. I mean, I think we postponed the start date till we had it right, and then we had it right and made a hell of a movie.
Yeah.
Gary Ross, great job.
And each of these things have different periods of time for going back and doing reshoots and making it right, and you're on the entire time.
Yeah, I kind of budget that in though.
Yeah.
Years ago, Woody Allen and all of his budgets had his shooting schedule had 2 weeks of reshoots.
Right.
So I always put 5 days of reshoots in case you need it.
Right.
Most of the movies I haven't needed it. Ocean's 8, we did go and shoot additional footage, no reshoots.
Right. Just to add to the story.
Yeah, we got Serena Williams in it. We got a lot of wonderful people in it.
Right. So you wanted that there was a desire to add to what was in there. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about golf. I know that sounds like a strange subject to go to.
I beat Tiger Woods last time we played. What do you mean about golf?
I want to hear about your golf game.
Okay, go ahead.
Come on, tell me. What's your handicap?
Oh no, it's lousy. I was a 7. Now I'm like a 15.
And you are able to get out and play periodically as the man about producer town.
Yes, I try to play at least once a week. But since I hurt my back, I haven't played in a year.
You hurt your back, and you haven't been able to get on the course. Yeah.
You know, I still belong to 3 golf clubs. That costs a lot of money, but I just go there to eat. That's why I'm so low budget these days.
Yeah, you like to eat, of course.
I like to eat. I'm like you, Charlie. Don't kid
exactly.
yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Right. Yeah.
That's the way you're supposed to look. You see,
yeah,
look
like,
right over there.
like my producer, the
That's
man
exactly.
who's fully fit. Although I did lose 50 pounds, though.
I know you did. I
Yeah.
did too. I got circumcised.
You got circumcised. There you go.
That's how I lost 50 pounds.
That's amazing.
They cut it in half, Charlie.
Amazing. When you worked with Russell on Arthur, what was that like with that project?
Oh, I
Talk
work
about
with
the-
Akiva Goldsmith.
Yeah, with Kiva.
I would work with Akiva every day of the week. He's brilliant. He's a genius. And if there's a problem, he's such a brilliant writer. It's a problem on a set. Hold on, let me rewrite it. Okay, let's do this. He
Right.
made my life very easy.
On Winter's Tale, and he
On
also
Winter's
and he
Tale.
also wrote I Am Legend as well.
He wrote I Am Legend and Winter's Tale. And working with Colin Farrell. Geez, these guys, they're so pros, you know.
Yeah. Brilliant.
Would you ask me about Russell Crowe?
No. I was asking you more about working with Brandt with
Russell Brand.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
What a character.
character, but I work with him every day. He's a wonderful guy. He was such a good guy. I mean, I can't say anything negative about him.
Right. Yeah.
Just
Brilliant.
wonderful, wonderful comedic talent. I went to see his stand-up. He made fun of me in the audience, but that was okay.
That's perfect.
It was good for me. Good for my ego.
It's good for your ego. Exactly. When you worked with Steve Zalian on Searching for Bobby Fischer, that was you weren't really on that. You were the executive.
I had
on
nothing
that.
to do with that. Yeah.
You were just an exec. You were the executive at Paramount.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. And then working with Roger Donaldson, that was early in your career, right? Because that was on
Roger was on Cocktail. I was his assistant director.
And what was that like working with Roger? He's your generation, right?
Yeah. Good guy.
Yeah,
Good
director.
Guy. Great director, really good guy. You know, I've spoken to him once since then, I think, maybe about 2 years ago. But no, I'd love to work with these guys. I've been so blessed. There's nobody I don't want to work with that I've worked with in the past. Most guys, I won't work with that guy. The guy's an asshole. No, I've loved every job.
Right.
I've loved every day of going to work in my whole career.
Yeah. And for you, you've also been able to be part of and participate in the projects too, right? Because as a producer,
I stick my big nose in the middle of stuff all the time. That's why.
Yeah. And also it's in the years of doing this, you get to participate in the wealth of the projects too, and all of that, which is great on the things that succeed the way they have. Yeah. She's done very well with that, huh?
Yeah, she did very well.
Yeah. So
Charlie, how'd you lose the 50 pounds?
How did I lose 50 pounds? That's a great question. I stopped drinking alcohol.
That's the only way?
And stopped eating carbs. All carbohydrates. Yeah.
Can you see your penis when you look down?
It's amazing. That's
you can
one of the.
see it?
Well, it's one of the benefits of having lost the weight. Well, I can't be like Tadross.
Very few people are like the king. Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm sorry, Charlie.
No.
We segued there. Let's go back.
That was a good segue. You know, it's good to stay healthy.
You look hard. You look great.
Yeah, it's hard to do it in our
And you got a great head of skin. Let me tell you that much.
Yeah, come on, man.
Good looking head of skin you got.
Yeah, it's not easy to shave a head and make it look good like this, right?
I couldn't do it.
Yeah,
I'd have nicks all over the place.
Right, that's true. Yeah, I mean, but you don't need to. You're the gray fox, man. Yeah, the stallion. So, what do you feel you want to give to the film community? Do you ever want to teach? Do you ever want to work with? Have you done that?
I lecture at UCLA in the graduate school. I may do something at LIU. They gave me an honorary PhD, so I'm now Dr. Tadross.
Oh my God.
And they want to start this whole film school, which I may get involved in. My alma mater, Wagner in Staten Island, they're starting a film department, which I hope to get involved in.
That's exciting.
And no, I'd love to teach.
Yeah, you should do that.
I would love to do it.
Yeah.
You know, you teach, you give them back the money, whatever they want to pay, you give it back to the school, and just do 2-3 nights a week, and it'd be fun.
Yeah, and I could see doing that.
You should do it too, Joe.
Yeah, no, I occasionally go over to some of the programs, and I've stopped in with the friends at NYU and at New York Film Academy and different places. Yeah, but yeah, I should do more of that.
He sounds very intellectual, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, very intellectual.
You sound really intellectual today.
Oh yeah.
He used to sound like a street bum. Now he sounds very.
It's incredible.
How long you know Charlie?
Very, very recently. But
wait, give it time.
But Olivier knows me longer. Yeah, I mean, I just want to dig into in your life what would be the big items that you haven't done that you want to do next in terms of stories, films. There's no specific. There's nothing.
Absolutely nothing. I've done everything. Like I said, I'm so blessed. I've done everything I want to do. I've done comedies. I've done dramas, Academy Award-winning movies. And I've never had a day that I didn't love going to work.
And do you?
And very few people can say that in this
No,
world.
no, it's true.
And on top of it, they throw a lot of money at you for doing it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you've been constant, nonstop. Oh my God, look at that! My head's
Charlie.
behind your head. Yeah, I know. That's it. Yeah, you look good against my head. So, in terms of like the way that you're going to go forward with this next enterprise, or with working on running a budget like you do, would you say that your skill has been to bring films in on budget, on schedule, and repeatedly been able to keep people and the studios happy with that over and over again?
Yeah, 54 movies. I think we had one that went over.
And when they go off the rails, how do you handle that?
We just tell the truth, how it happened.
Right.
And generally, it's not something you could have done to prevent it, and it's generally not something that you did wrong.
Right.
And if you have studio executives that actually understand the process, they do it. Okay, let's try to just see what we can make up for. What can we cut out of the script? What can we do to get back on track? Some movies you can, some movies you can't.
Right. Yeah. And do you feel that in your life that you've been able to maintain your life outside the business as well as you'd like?
I would say yes.
Right. You keep yourself your life outside the business sacred.
I'll give you an example. When I was at Paramount, my son was living in Brooklyn in the Little League, so I would take the 4 o'clock American Airlines flight every Friday afternoon, get in at midnight, get to his baseball game on Saturday morning, another one on Sunday, and then on Monday morning be on a 7 o'clock flight back to LA, and I'd be in the office by 11 o'clock in the morning. And I did that for about a year. So I commuted to Los Angeles every week for like a year to keep the family together.
Amazing.
And he's a good kid because of it.
And he's making movies.
He's making movies. He and Charbel are making movies. They're doing horror movies, and they're doing a TV series about bitcoins called Paper Empire. It's got Robert Davi in it, and Wesley Snipes, and Denise Richards, and Steve Guttenberg, your buddy.
Steve's in it. Wow.
Steve's in it, and Michael Nori. Who else, Charbel? Oh, there's new different guests every week.
Nice. So and do you participate in his stuff too, or
not at all? He won't even let me. I borrow money from him occasionally. No,
that's
fantastic. Just joking. No, I don't have anything to do with his stuff.
Right. But he never trained under you or worked under you?
Oh yeah, he was working me on I Am Legend. He worked me on about 10 movies.
Yeah. Yeah. He was on the job.
On the job. He learned.
Yeah.
He didn't go to film school. He just learned on the job training.
And do you feel that in general, you were saying before that really the business should be more about that, right? More about learning on the job and less about film school.
Well, I don't want to say less about film school, but after film school, they should learn on the job.
Right. In the traditional programs and the DGA trainee and all of that. Yeah. Does that work? And does the DGA support that?
DGA training program is a way for people to get into it, but to get past their tests to get in is almost impossible. Charbel over there has produced how many movies? 15. Did you try to get in a training program?
One time.
And you failed?
It's not a matter of failing or passing. They choose 6 people out of thousands.
Why did they pick 6? Who are 6?
And the test had nothing to do with
I see.
general knowledge.
So that's how that works.
That's how that works.
Yeah. So your feeling is like the old stage programs of working in as a PA or camera or grip or
I think that's the right way to do it. Yeah. Maybe I'm very old school by saying that. But I feel as though you learn all the departments. You see what's really going on.
And do you feel that you've run into, as a result, into a fair amount of folks that come on the scene, probably not in your films, but occasionally, where you find people that just are not ready to do the gig because they didn't do that?
No, not generally on my shows. My son experiences that a lot when he does his low budget stuff.
Yeah. And then with directors like McTiernan that you worked with over and over again, in the careers of directors like John, there's a rush of films that get made with a lot of different directors, and then there are long periods of time when they're not working.
There's generally always a reason for that, though,
Yeah.
which I'm not going to go into.
You're not going to go into.
No.
Yeah. Yeah. But the beauty of doing what you do is you get to go on from one to the next and not be concerned with that. Have you ever had the desire and wanted yourself to be in command and to be the director of any of the films that you've been involved in?
Years and years ago, I directed a little music video, and it was fine. It was fun, but I'd rather produce.
Right.
I've been a second unit director on about 20 movies. And it's nice. It's cool. It's good. But I like the producing game better.
Right. And you're not working as in an AD capacity on the projects that you go in on as the producer or UPM or any of that in many years.
Oh, I'm UPM AD not for many, many years, no. I think the last show I AD'd was Cocktail.
Well, way back at the
That's a
beginning.
long time ago,
At the
yeah.
beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those were good training moments for everything that you do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because they kept the engine going. Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So, what else do you want to tell me about you? Because I feel like I've dove in and I've tried.
There's nothing else to tell you about me.
I want to know more about.
I wish I was a better golfer. You're right about
Yeah,
that.
you wish you were a better golfer. Yeah.
I wish I had your brains.
Oh, of course. Yeah, that would be good. That would be exciting.
I might have some of your money.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, money. Exactly. This is fantastic. You're mentioning all great things.
I know all great things about you. Nobody knows these things about you, Charlie.
Yeah. Even I don't know them about me. That's the amazing thing. Yeah.
You're still dating girls that 13 or 14 years old? Or
No. My own age now. Yeah. 50,
Seriously?
Yeah. In fact, 2 years older than I am.
No.
I'm going to be 58 this year.
You're dating a 6-year-old woman? The last girl you
59.
introduced me to was like in high school.
That's what you thought. Yeah. And that's how you.
If I'm embarrassing you on the air, I'll
that was great. You said to me when I introduced her, you said it's so nice to meet your daughter. Yeah.
I almost said your granddaughter, but I stopped at daughter.
You stopped at daughter. Yeah. No. You were always very good with that. Yeah. Funny stuff. Yeah. But
Truthful stuff.
But that's all changed, though. Yeah.
You grew up, huh?
I grew up. Yeah. I'm following the Tadross path.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm married to a doctor now. What do you want?
Yeah. That's true. And how is she?
She's great.
Does she still do broadcast stuff too? Or
Yeah. She does a lot of podcasts.
She does a lot of podcasts. Interesting.
And she's, I think she's going to be doing a TV show about women's something or another.
Right. She's always doing stuff about psychology.
She's the head of the stress management program at Mount Sinai. She's a doctor and she's an assistant. No, she's a professor, clinical professor, psychiatry, and OBGYN at Mount Sinai. And she's with another company called Progeny also now. So she, I married her because she's so rich.
That's it, of course.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
She's not a very good-looking woman.
You're fantastic. You're freaking hilarious.
Oh, no.
George is gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous.
You're crazy.
She had her own. She used to be the health reporter at NBC News for years, and then she had her own show on Fox. And
and her anchor has mostly been working here, right? So you split your time between the coasts, right?
Yeah, we go out. She occasionally comes with me. And
right. You stay out there for long stretches, of course.
I do.
Yeah.
I do just to play golf. Nothing to do with business.
Yeah. No, nothing to do with business. Of course not. And eat at Craig's.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Every Wednesday.
And breakfast at Nate and Al's.
Yeah, there you go. Old habits. I can't
break my old habits, no.
Yeah, it's perfect. Yeah, I got to tell you, I want to dig in deeper with you, but you keep But you keep on. I
have
want to know
to.
more. I want to know.
Here's
more.
what I'll do.
Yeah, I want to pull out your all the things that I can't get to.
That's right.
Yeah.
Here's
yeah.
the deal. We'll do this again in a couple of years,
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
5 or
yeah.
10 years if I
You're
decide
right.
to retire.
And then you're going to tell me.
Then I will tell you
stories.
stories that you'll fall out of your chair about very famous people and things I've seen, because then I can't get hurt.
Right. You don't want to speak up about the all the stories from back in the day that are as crazy as one could imagine on all the projects that you witnessed. Yeah.
Starting with Trading Places and working its way.
What was it like working with Eddie back then? He was new, and
I'll give you a quick Eddie Murphy story.
Yeah, please.
This man's a genius, as we all know.
Right.
It was like his first, I think maybe just finished 48 Hours, wasn't released yet. So we had Eddie Murphy, Ralph Bellamy, and Don Amici in a three-room motorhome, a three-banger they're called. They're about the size of this table. Eddie Murphy, a little more. So every day they said, you know what? Eddie said, Mike, I'd love to get some McDonald's. So I had a production assistant on the way in, pick up McDonald's. And Eddie would go to Don Amici, have some, what's that? So Eddie got them both McDonald's, Ralph Bellamy and Don Amici, brought them all this one little motorhome. And he calls me and says, Mikey, I said, what is it, Eddie? He said, how did he put it? Wait a minute. They're eating their McDonald's, and he goes, Don Amici, Don, how many movies have you starred? And he said, 29 or something. And Ralph, how many have you done? He said, that's 70 movies. And Eddie puts his hands around both of us. Mikey, between the three of us, made 100 fucking movies.
That's hilarious.
If Eddie said it, you'd be laughing your ass off right now.
Yeah, no.
But that's the kind of mind he has. He's brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah, and that was the beginning.
He was 21 years old.
That was the beginning, because he did that, and he did, I guess, was it 48 Hours or whatever? Yeah.
Then he did Beverly Hills Cop,
which you were.
I did the third one with John Landis.
Right, with John Landis. Yeah. So there's no little.
I gave you the only story you're going to get out of me that I can't give you.
I can't derive anything from.
No, I'm a boring guy. I'm telling you.
Well, but you were telling me a little bit about the changes that took place recently at the end of your period with Warner's, and now you see all of the studios lined up and all the changes. You have Apple Plus, you have Disney buying Fox, you have Warner being Warner Media owned by AT&T, and then you have all the conglomerates changing. How do you feel that these shifts are? Do you feel that it opens up greater opportunity? Probably.
I think it does, but I don't know yet. It's
Right.
too new for me to really answer that question.
Right.
But I do feel as though it's going to open up a whole bunch of new stuff.
Right. But you feel that also that there are shifts that have taken place in the old studios where there are going to be specific sweeping changes, like at Warner Brothers, where their world turns around a bit and it needs to feed a new beast like HBO Max and all of that.
That's right.
Yeah. And you're more likely on projects coming up to have a pipeline of things that may not even be fully theatrical, or maybe theatrical day and date, which has not been at all your career.
No.
In fact, you haven't had a single project that has been that in your, right? All of your films have all had a window. They've all gone out theatrically, all had box office.
Everyone,
Yeah. So it's that'll be the next wave of the
fun. It'll be
Tadross
something
career.
new. It'll be fun.
Yeah. I tell you, I can't wait. We got to do the retirement episode where you tell me all the really dirty, horrible.
I got some terrible stories.
some stories.
Shit I've
Oh
seen.
man.
The shit I've seen over the years.
Oh my God. And I try to sieve it out of you.
You're not going to.
I'm not going to get a single one. You've
Not a
taken
one.
the fifth with me the whole way through.
100%.
Oh my
Charles.
God.
100% Charles.
Mike.
Sorry, Charles.
Oh, I love you. Yeah.
I did talk about you when you dated underage girls. That's
that-
illegal, I think.
That's true. That certainly communicates something that you're able to say with impunity. So
Exactly.
yeah, that makes
No,
it
when you
easier.
experience something eye to eye firsthand, come on.
Yeah, no. I'm glad you're able to highlight.
But
that.
I didn't say she was your granddaughter, even though she could have been.
No, you were very nice about that.
very polite.
You're very polite.
Up
First
front.
meeting. Yeah. Those were always lovely surprises. I never knew quite what was going to come out of your mouth in any given meeting. Which was always
we
good.
sat Campagnola's eating dinner. I was a gentleman.
You were a gentleman. Yeah. Quite lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, Mr. Tadross, I don't know what to say except I wanna like squeeze some more juice out of you.
Ain't gonna happen.
And you're not. Yeah, I'm
I'm a boring guest. What do you want
You're
me to tell
not a
you?
boring guest. No, you're not. But this next
Who else have you
studio
interviewed?
gig, I've had 10 guests.
Steve
including
Guttenberg,
Steve Guttenberg,
of course.
Keanu Reeves, Michael Hausman, Christine Vachon, John
still living?
Turturro. Yeah, Mike Hausman still. He was one of my last guests.
Oh,
yeah.
he's a great guy.
Yeah, amazing stories too. Yeah, he was certainly less concerned about sharing some of the detail with us. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah, he's
there's a
already made
reason
the-
for it.
He's
You know,
made the world.
he was
yeah.
the generation before me.
Yeah, he's the old guard. Yeah, incredible history with Milos and.
When do I get my check for today?
Oh, we'll have
In the
that.
mail?
Well, you're going to get residuals.
Oh, yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah,
yeah.
we're going to draw up a contract.
Oh, good.
And then
good.
this program, which is obviously going to go viral,
It's definitely go
it's
viral.
going viral. Yeah, you're going to get significant checks.
By
in
the way, you know, you
future.
got better looking since you lost the weight.
Thank you so much.
Seriously,
I really appreciate
you're
you
a very
saying
handsome
that.
guy.
Thank you. That's very
And
nice.
you're dressing better.
You like this? You like this?
I like
the
you in
black,
black with the
black on
Don
black.
King symbol on your shirt. Oh,
Yeah,
this is
yeah.
wonderful. Very handsome.
Thank you, sir.
You guys didn't know him years ago, did you?
No, they didn't know. Well, he.
You're so blessed that you didn't know him.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Pervert.
Oh my God, Mike!
Oh,
come
I'm
on.
not supposed to talk like that
No,
on
no,
the
no,
air.
not about me. Not about me. Not
only about me, I
Only
got it.
about you. Can say you're Mike. I love you.
I love you, Charlie. God
Thank
bless
you, brother.
Thank you.
All right, man.